So in this video, we're taking a look at a kayak tie-down system that I kind of bought for the second kayak that we're going to put on the car. So this system is the Yakima bow and stern tie-downs, and the interesting thing about this individual bow and stern tie-down, as opposed to when you buy the JayLow kayak rack and the tie-down that they give you, is this one have a ratcheting hook over here, where the original Yakima JayLow tie downs that they provide doesn't have the ratcheting system over here. It's just a flat two pieces of flat straps, just like the NRS 1-inch the kayak tie downs. So I bought those, and I want to actually today, because we're going out to have a little kayaking fun, so I'm gonna be using those tie downs on one of the kayak, and I'm gonna give you guys my impression on how well the new and improved ratcheting tie down works compared to the original tie down that doesn't have a ratcheting system. Okay, but the strap from NRS is 1-inch, but this is 12-foot. Usually if you buy a Yakima kayak, they give you a 15-foot strap, but that strap I always find just way too long for my little sedan, so I bought a slightly shorter one. That way when I finish tying them down, I don't have to like fold so many times to hide the additional leftover straps that haven't been used. So again, 12-foot comes in a pair, and this one had the plastic side and back, so when you actually just throw this over the kayak to the other side of the car, it's not gonna damage anything or scratch anything. The strap feels just like the Yakima strap that they come with the JayLow. So actually, let me just open this up. And if you guys are interested in seeing how those works initially, I actually had another video reviewing the Yakima JayLow kayak rack along with the rail system, so that would be the video to look at. This one I'm just gonna show you guys when I try to use this, and I'm not gonna go into detail, but it does come with a very complete instruction on how to use those straps and how to tie the knots. Obviously you have to tie the knots on this one, which kind of sucks because it's gonna take additional time. So hopefully when I tie it for the first time, I don't have to tie it again. But yeah, the idea is the more this one is gonna, once you set it up properly, it's gonna work a lot faster as opposed to the traditional strap, which is just looking like this. Okay, so I'll see you guys in the next section. So I took everything out, and this is an NRS strap, and some of the features I'll go through. Heavy duty cam buckle, dual stainless steel springs, non-stretch polypropylene, and treated for UV protection. So color is not gonna fade and it's not gonna stretch. So very secure tie-down straps. Okay, and those are what came with the Yakima. So the interesting thing for the Yakima ratcheting system is the rope is actually round as opposed to the flat tie down that they give you in the JayLow. So and this is, I believe, for the bow and stern, and this is the actual tie down system. Now the exterior is actually plastic. Okay, so it's very plasticky on the exterior, but the internal like cam structure is all steel. Okay, kind of feel like this just looks like one of those Amazon sold ones. I'm not sure about the thickness of the rope on the Amazon sold ones, which are like at 1/3 of the cost of this one, but it does seem like it's fairly well made, and for sure it's gonna hold the kayak tying down on the car perfectly fine, because this area is not subject to intense pressure. The most of the bulk of the weight is going to be tied down using the regular strap on the side of the kayak. Okay, All right, guys, so I just literally followed this instruction to tie a secure knot and also feed the free end of the loop from the rope from here inside the cam buckle or ratcheting buckle. It's actually extremely easy. I did it in less than 1 minute. This knot seems like very complicated, but it's actually very easy. You just follow the pattern right here. So I could demonstrate really quick. Hopefully, maybe with one hand, maybe not. Okay, let's see. So basically, you just find the knot over the rope over here, and you have the hook. And before you put this into the hook, you are needing to actually twist it once. And once it's twisted, you feed this through the hook. Okay, and when you come out, you are supposed to go out from under here. So going here, and you're going to loop this through this hoop, this side of the rope, and then come out also from the inside. Once it's come out from the inside, you tied it, and it's gonna look just like that. And if you follow the instruction, again, it's very, very easy and simple. Kind of hard for me to do with one hand, but just want to show you the basic. The trick is you have to loop it first before you put the rope over here, and going through the loop, going out, and going through again, okay? All right, and the ratcheting side is also extremely easy, okay? So the trick is you just face this screw side to you, and you're gonna feed the rope at the bottom, which is under here, okay? So the rope goes like this, and it's gonna come out from the front. And the trick to get the rope in there is actually you have to press this tab, okay? You have to lift this tab so the ratcheting wheel will turn freely, okay? If you don't press this, it's gonna ratchet. But if you press this, every time you turn, it's not gonna make sound and it's very smooth, okay? So that's a trick. Now, before you loop the rope, the free end of the rope into the ratchet, make sure you attach the tube first, okay? This tube is to protect your car's surface, and you basically just drop this in here and then loop it through the ratcheting system. And then we're ready to actually mount the kayak. And I'm gonna hopefully have my camera set up to show you guys hopefully how easy it is to actually use this ratcheting system compared to the regular strap system that's being provided in the Yakima JayLow. And as you can see, I just did it literally in under 5 seconds. I pressed this tab and I just started feeding the loop. The thing have to come out from the bottom, okay? Don't let it come out from here, it's very dangerous. Make sure it goes all the way to the bottom part and come out from the bottom. Both of those needs to come out from the bottom, not on the side, okay? All right, apologize for the noise from the neighbors mowing the lawn. But I do get the strap mounted over here. Again, this is an RS12 as opposed to the Yakima's original black strap. This is the JayLow rack. So if you're mounting 2 kayaks, you want the rack's back to be at 90-degree position. So you can put one kayak here, the other one on the other side. I haven't mounted 2 kayaks before, so this is gonna be my first time. So bear with me as I try to mount it, and maybe give you guys some tips after we finish mounting the kayak or come back from the trip, because right now it's pretty loud and I don't want to, you know, have my throat getting killed over this. But the 12-foot is fairly short. So if you have a large kayak, very wide one, you might still consider the 15-foot strap, okay? The 12-foot, I think it's gonna work fine for mine, which is a very slim sea kayak. But if you have a wider kayak, you definitely want the 15-foot. And also 15-foot or longer for the other side, because the other side is gonna have a longer reach over there. So just keep that in mind, okay? And the ratcheting side is going to the bow and stern. So I have one in the front over here. This is the one I just bought. And this is what's from the Yakima JayLow pack. That one is just a regular, you know, stainless steel hook with a regular strap. So very, very different. So we'll find out how well both of those works when I start to load my kayak. All right, carried both kayaks down next to the car, so we're ready to mount those two beasts onto the car. Okay, stay tuned. Again, sorry about the noise. So I got two kayaks tied down with a 90-degree view, but I think probably the best way of getting two kayaks is by another JayLow rack. So this kayak doesn't have so much, exposed to the rails over there. But this ratcheting system that I just bought, extremely easy to use. I basically just hook it to the, to one of those holders over there. And if I go to the bottom, I have a tow hook at the bottom. So basically I get those hooked and just drag. And that's pretty much it. So you just have to, make sure any area that the paint might get scratched, for example, like over here, just have the tube over there, but it doesn't. Okay, so maybe this area is most easily gets scratched, and I have both of those protective tubes at this area. And yeah, now they are like super secure. There's no way it's gonna fall off the car, and we're ready to roll. Okay. Alright guys, so we're at the kayak launching site, and I'm just gonna quickly unload. My wife is gonna videotape me unloading both of the kayaks. And the tie down, the bow and stern tie down actually worked pretty well. The kayak is extremely stable when we're driving, so there's no issue about that. Okay. The unloading process is much faster than the loading process. So and I'm just gonna drop everything into the car once I finish with all those straps. I'm gonna try to take this one off first.
Enjoy your day.
Thank you. You too. Pretty much the unloading process. I'm just setting up the seat over here for my wife. It's a hard kayak. It's a very nice, big, wide sitting kayak. Very stable. And for mine, it's kind of a longer, slimmer kayak. But mine already had the seat integrated, so I don't have to do anything. But this is pretty much the unloading process. And we're ready to actually pedal. So we'll see you guys in the next section. So we just finished our kayaking trip. I actually flipped my kayak and I'm trying to recover from the horror. But I want to show you guys the strap from the NRS. Again, this is a 12-foot strap. The trick of mounting both kayaks is you want the other strap to be putting there first. So this strap for the kayak on the outside is gonna be on the top. You want the kayak strap for the other side to be on the bottom. So when you put the kayak here, you can get this to the top first, and then the next you get this to the top as well. So I'm going to show you guys when we actually mount the kayak, but this is the general trick that I find out for which you can actually tie the kayak down really, really fast. Okay. For the back side, it's going to be the same thing. I'm going to put this strap on the back side and just make sure this strap for the other side is going to be at the bottom of the NRS strap. And of course, you'll want to go to the other side. And just make sure to dangle this over here for the kayak from this side. And try your best not to twist the strap as much as you can. But we're actually ready to mount the kayak on this side. Okay, so let me go grab the red kayak and we're gonna mount it over here. And also what I find out that's really helpful. Grab for you guys.
is to have a little stool. You don't need to spend $500 for a kayak assisting device. As long as you have a little stool, you can grab the kayak and just go on top and put it here like really nicely. So I'm gonna try my best to demonstrate, even though I'm a little exhausted, but I think I should be able to do it, okay? And we're almost there, so I just balance it a little bit. And now it's kind of situated nicely over there. The next step is just try to get this to the top of the hook on the back, okay? So let's go to the back. We're gonna try to lift this up all the way to the top. So usually I do this, I go halfway, and I just come over here, and just use a little extra force, and it's gonna go to the top, okay? Just like that, fairly easy. Twist it a little bit so the strap gets automatically aligned, and you're ready to actually tighten this side. Do the same thing for the other side, and then we're gonna put the other strap to the top before we mount the kayak on the other side. The exact same thing here. You're gonna just try to hook it over to the top. Doesn't really need a lot of force. Just wiggle it a little bit, and it should be able to already kind of try to self. Maybe it got stuck with the other strap. Let's see. Okay, almost there. All right, so now it's automatically aligned, and again, just play around a little bit, make sure like everything's aligned nicely. Reduce the amount of twist. It's okay to have a little twist, but just reduce it. Before we tighten this, we're gonna get that strap to the top first, okay? And we're gonna be doing the same thing. There you go. There you go. All right. Just remember the black line is for the other side of the kayak. So we're gonna leave it there. We're gonna actually mount or tighten this kayak first. When you're tightening the kayak, make sure direction is correct. You want the tab to be facing outside, okay? And again, try not to twist. So just go from the back out of the tab and drag it down and align this somewhere to the middle. And I kind of twist it a little bit. But it's already pretty securely tightened down, okay? Okay, now that's kind of dangerous, so make sure it's not snagged by some stuff, and you can further tighten it down a little more. Okay, very good. The remaining amount, you're going to just tie a knot and secure it. Whichever way, that doesn't make it move around, okay? I'm gonna toss it in here, okay? And we're gonna tighten the back side. No, before we do that, we're gonna get the strap to the top. Keep in mind, the black one is for the other side of the kayak if you have two. Is it? Okay. Now this one is ready to go for the back. Now we can tighten this down. Go back here and make sure it doesn't go on top of this. Make sure there's no space in between, okay? And just align really nicely. Again, I have to twist this one a little bit. Make sure it goes to the back. And we're gonna try to put this somewhere at the center, okay? Like so. All right, it's already pretty secure. You don't have to like use extreme force. As long as it doesn't move around, it's perfectly fine. Next step. We're just gonna tie this and throw it somewhere here so it doesn't affect the driving. And we're ready to mount the other kayak. It's gonna be a little tricky because the other side doesn't have any support and kind of slopes around, which might also make it easy to actually load the kayak on the other side. So I'm gonna get my chair ready. And I'm gonna go grab the other kayak. It will be helpful if you have a kayak cart. I have one, I didn't bring it, but next time I'm probably gonna use it. So exact same thing, you just lift it up there, try to get it to as close to the other side as possible, and then we're gonna do the same step and tie it up. All right, just loaded the kayak up here. Again, a little stool really helps. If you have a taller one, even better. You want to get this sitting upright. And now we can actually try to secure it. This is not ideal, but again, we live pretty close, so let me maybe actually take it off. Because we don't want any moving parts. And we can grab the strap from the other side. You're gonna do the exact same thing on this side. It's gonna be a little tricky, okay? Wait. What am I doing? Okay. So, yes. Crap. Make sure it goes over the bottom before you tighten it down. Otherwise, it's gonna go crazy. So we're done with this side. Do the other side. have to twist it a little bit. That's okay. Go under and then loop it. All right, it's perfectly secured. Ideally, you'll want the bow and stern both tied to the car, okay, ideally. But we live very close and we don't drive on the highway, so I'm not gonna do that. But this way, just double check, make sure everything is secured, and then we should be good to go, okay? All right, so both bolts are tied. And just make sure you move it around and nothing is, nothing is wobbly. This thing is very well tied to the kayak rack. Kayak rack is very well tied to the car, so you're good to go. When you get home, and because I flipped my kayak, there's a lot of sand and dust, make sure you wash your car, okay? Otherwise, the sand is gonna grind down the aluminum like really quickly. I'm gonna show you guys. So this is what I got. Horrible scratches from the sand. So definitely you want to wash your car very thoroughly, okay? But that's pretty much it. The NRS strap works fine, and I showed you guys the ratchet. The ratchet also works great this morning. Again, I'm too tired to use it, and we live 5 minutes away, so I'm not gonna use the ratchet this time. If you guys have any questions about any of those straps, the Yakima strap, the Yakima ratchet, the NRS, tie-down straps, feel free to ask me in the comment section down below, and I'd be happy to answer those questions for you guys. So I hope you found this video, helpful, because I haven't seen other similar videos coming out about how to properly load 2 kayaks onto your car. I thought I would do one myself, and you guys could also see before your first trip, properly tie down the kayak and enjoy your trip. Okay, thanks again, and I'll see you in the next video.